We're in a garage.
I'm Colonel Crazy, and yes, we are in a garage, but hey, don't judge. A lot of great things have come from garages, like having your first joint, losing your
Indeed.
virginity, and bands.
Don't forget some great software and hardware companies, including Apple Computers, first
Heck
came
yeah,
out of the garage.
that's right.
So this show, we're a pair of opinionated assholes talking about the
Assholes,
news.
yeah. Talking about the news, we don't really have any political agenda. We're not left wing loons and right wing nut jobs trying to get you to, vote a certain way or just get money. We'll bitch about a wide variety. I'm personally politically neutral on many subjects.
As Chris Rock says, there's some things I'm conservative about, some things I'm liberal about.
There you go. Every normal person should be.
Right. So going on to the first subject is probably the biggest thing that's been in the news lately is Indiana. Everyone has at least heard or heard someone talk about the Religious Freedom Act of Indiana.
Yeah,
Now,
it's been a very controversial law. What's it all about, Daniel?
well, from what I've learned is that there is the bill states that if private businesses, have the right to kick someone out or not serve them based on their religious beliefs. So, by that I mean is your personal belief. If you don't like someone based on your personal religious beliefs, you can kick someone out. And this is what really got people noticing about this is there was a pizza place in Indianapolis known as Memories Pizza that
One day they're going to be just a memory.
exactly. Your name is your destiny. Yeah. So apparently one of the local news groups went in there and asked them about would they. It's because there was a lot of crosses and Christian symbols in there. They said, "Would you serve your pizza at a gay, catering typically at a gay wedding?" They say, "I couldn't do that because of my beliefs." And this isn't the only places it's happening either. Georgia's apparently doing it, and apparently Arkansas had a law in their books. But
The thing is, I've gone up and down on this issue and obviously discrimination with businesses goes all the way back to the 60s with the Civil Rights Act in 1964 that said you can't discriminate. You can't throw someone out of your business based on race, gender, and religious association.
right, of course,
So I've always had a differing opinion on this, actually. It is, as a business owner, it's your business.
right.
You can for me personally, you can throw anyone you want out.
It's on.
You throw someone out based on their race or their gender or their sexual orientation, you're really doing nothing but labeling yourself as a big hating bigot.
Right.
And you're losing money, and it's almost self-correcting in itself, to me, personally.
Right. Yeah. I mean, these people are using it as a carte blanche means to basically discriminate. And what's interesting is the one group who actually decided to say no and actually got to stop in not in Indiana but in Arkansas, Walmart. Believe it or not, Walmart, freaking Wally World got to stop because they didn't want to be painted with the same brush as all these religious bigots because they're going, we're all about diversity and we thrive because of diversity. I know they sell Chinese they sell cheap products.
That's very interesting, and but another issue is when I read up on the law, I saw some different. I don't. The law didn't really say it was permitting people to discriminate. It was more or less saying something about you can sue if you feel your religious rights are infringed upon.
Right, of course, that's probably.
So I don't even know kind of what the hell that means. Where does that end or begin? I don't even know what the fuck that means. So I don't even know if this is an issue of permitting people to discriminate.
Right, but if you notice that if you watch any of the clips involving Mike Pence, the governor of Indiana, he actually at first he sounds like he's talking out both ends. He's saying, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with the law. It's perfectly fine, but we need to go and change it because it might be interpreted this way."
Well, because also it's just as I was reading it, that makes sense because there's a lot that doesn't make sense. I remember I was reading some guy that was saying, well, what if I am a Muslim, I go into a Christian place and the Christians throw me out because I'm Muslim, but now the Christians have a case. If you get on the Christians, they'll have a case against the Muslims for discriminating against them, and then the Muslims will have a case against the Christians. So you have a whole issue.
Well, when's the last time you ever heard of a Muslim owner kicking a Christian out of their
All
bakery?
kinds of religious people can get into conflict.
Right. I mean, really. I mean,
But that's the thing about the law is that I don't see now. But knowing the state it's in and the community it's in, it's really probably only for Christians.
well, yeah. I mean, who else?
Because honestly, you think if an atheist says, "Hey, Christians, get out of my pizzeria," or my donut shop, you think they're really going to enforce that?
Hell no. I mean,
Who knows? We don't know. I mean, it
Hey,
should.
what
I
about
should.
the
Again,
Christian-
my opinion is you own your business, and you can throw whatever the hell you want out of your business.
what about the Christian who kicks out the atheist because they don't believe in God at all? Or
There you go.
Or what if they're you have someone who's a hardcore creationist and basically kicks someone out because they're talking about maybe you have two scientists talking about something the theory of evolution, like I don't believe in that and I don't want you in here.
That's a good point. Also, another point is about forcing businesses to not discriminate. I mean, what's that? I mean, obviously, what's that? What difference is that really going to make?
You know what?
You have a restaurant full of racists, full of white racists, or it could be full of black racists. And let's take
And
the
they
example.
do it, and they exist, and there's
Sure.
racists of all
There's
kinds.
racists of all kinds, but let's say you have a bunch of white racists, and because this is often the narrative everyone wants to push.
Oh yeah.
So
only white people can be racist.
only white people can be racist. So let's say you have a bunch of white racists and some black guys walk in, and
Yeah, you're,
obviously there's a law in place saying, hey, you can't discriminate or else legal ramifications will rain down on you. So the white racists say, have to let these guys in, but they fuck with their food. They're late, serving them, they're already making it an uncomfortable environment. They're already going to get these guys out of the restaurant regardless of what the law says. If you're not wanted somewhere, you're not wanted somewhere.
right. I mean, of course, but this is just.
And maybe though, if businesses put a sign that says, no, "I don't want black people or atheists or white people here," it's letting the person know you're not wanted. Me personally, I always want to know when I'm not wanted.
But but keep in mind that any smart business person should learn to keep your religion.
Oh, fuck
And
yeah.
your
fuck yeah.
your
Well,
politics separate from your business because I don't give a crap who you are. Any money that's green is good money. Who gives a
if
fuck?
you are, yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying.
What do you
a lot of discrimination in this case is self-correcting. If I have a small mom and pop store and I'm throwing black people and women and Latinos and gays out, my business is now, not only have I lost money, but I'm now labeled as a fucking racist,
and a bigot.
homophobic, bigot, lunatic. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in business. I'm just going to be a laughing stock.
What I should do is I should go make make my own bakery that caters solely to gay people, and I'd make so much money because believe it or not, and it's just
There you go. And then you just collect. You go to the deep south or back east in Christian country in certain communities where it's really slanted, against homosexuals and stuff. And you
or
open
even
up
mixed
the gay
race marriages. There's still places where if you're a black guy and you marry a white woman,
Yeah, it's not.
so I'll cater to them.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's kind of. I'm just. I think. My personal opinion is government. People often rush to things that could be self-correcting when
Eventually, the law is going to get kicked out because of that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see a point for asking the authorities to assist in this matter. I think it's going to work itself out. That's my
Right.
point of view.
All right, so let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Away from bigotry.
Recently, last week or over the weekend, in New York, as we all know, there's a company called Uber that transports people around at a very reasonable price.
I actually used Uber this weekend.
You
Very,
did, yeah.
very nice. They very friendly. You know, I brought out my phone. Boom, they're here. This is not an ad for them, but as my personal preference, great service, very friendly, and
Yeah.
they get you to where you need to go,
Yeah.
like that.
Wonderful business idea. Wonderful.
And for
business.
over half the price of cabs. That's why the cabs don't want you to have.
No. They're wonderful, but
Let's go.
in New York, there was an incident where you had an Uber driver transporting somebody, and this vehicle in front of the Uber driver is about to park. We all know the people who you're right behind in the lane, and they start trying to park, and they don't put on their signal,
Oh yeah, I hate that.
and then you're just like, shit. Okay, like whoa, you could have let me know. And so this Uber driver honks him to let him know, hey, you're kind of
You're dick.
a fucking dick. Well, the driver he honked at happened to be a NYPD detective.
Was he off duty?
So, I maybe or not, I'm not sure. But this detective, out of spite, it seems, pulls this Uber driver over on like what grounds? He was making an illegal traffic move,
Yeah.
and he was honked at. I don't see where that gives a policeman to use his authority in that way to get back at a driver.
Well, I hate to say it, but a lot of times police, I happen to be friends with a guy who is a cop.
I've known 10 policemen.
Yeah, I mean everyone's at least known. I mean, if you know someone who's either police or has been arrested by the police.
And we also know there's a lot of policemen have entitlement issues.
Right, and that's the thing is a lot of the guns I don't know don't have entitlement issues. I mean, the thing is this happens. This is nothing against police, but because you're in that position, it's likely that you get an ego comes.
An ego trip. Sure, you have a badge, you have a gun, you have power, you're the authority. They've done many social experiments. I can't forget the name, but there was a social experiment that talked about how when one has power over another. This guy put a bunch of kids who were prisoners and a bunch of other kids were guards in a college, and he noticed the guard kids started eventually abusing their power.
Right.
That they were first started off as cool people, but he noticed as they had power, there was some change in their
At
personality.
least a few of them would have that. A minimum.
Yeah,
Power, was the old saying, power corrupts.
absolute power corrupts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyways, this driver, back to the Uber case, pulls the Uber driver over, this detective, and continues to verbally harass him.
That's wrong.
Pulls him over and says, "Fuck you, you fucking idiot. I'm going to fucking arrest you." And this Uber driver and this passenger behind who is transporting is recording this whole thing. And this policeman is just basically abusing him because he's pissed because the dude honked at him. He's like, "I can fucking arrest you right now." I'm like, number one, no, you can't. You made an illegal traffic move. You were honked at. Okay? You were being
I've known
a dick.
I've known guys like that. Basically, when I've heard of guys. There's someone I knew who actually they were near at the end of a right turn, and the light turned green, and there was like two cars ahead of him, and because they weren't moving, he honks, and the guy in front of him in the very front happens to be a police officer, and he pulls him over, saying that he was give him a ticket. And when he went to court, they said he had, quote, excessive honking. That's the bullshit they'll pull on you. They'll say, you were honking. He only did a beep, beep. That's
excessive
it.
honking. I mean, it's so funny how, what they can say and do. I mean,
Just because you're having a bad day and you have a badge doesn't mean you get to free.
well, with this issue, I guess what they came out and said, they said they were going to reprimand the detective. I mean, they should. I mean, he just got up and verbally abused this driver to an absolutely unnecessary. Well, I mean, what was shocking to me is he was using his power to get back at a driver that honked him.
That's rude. That's wrong.
Well, it's completely wrong. Your job, your power is not at that disposal to sort of get back at personal, issues like that.
Of course.
I mean, it was a personal issue. There was nothing the guy did wrong to honk at him.
You just mad he said, "Hey, you're not doing."
Yeah, and I mean, you could do that. I guess was there somewhere that says you can't honk at someone doing something stupid?
No,
I mean, that's the point of the horn. You're not supposed to use it to
obsessively.
abuse it. Yeah, but I mean to go when someone just stomps in the middle of the road without signaling to try to park.
Right. Or to signal someone, say, "Hey, move."
There's been a lot of issues with the police department this day and age.
Right.
It'll continue.
Right. So, on to our third topic. By the way,
next.
this show is being powered by Arrowhead. We're not advertising for them. It's just what we're drinking tonight.
Yeah, we're to our Arrowhead wouldn't want us,
Yeah, it's
advertising. We're a couple dudes in our 20s in a garage.
who wants.
A couple dudes in their 20s in a garage, are drinking Arrowhead water.
Although I will say I do like spring water better than tap water.
Wish I had a beer right now.
Maybe we'll do that at our next show.
Sounds great, man. You're buying.
All right, so on third topic. So what's our third topic for tonight?
Our third topic for tonight is... yes. There is I believe, Democratic congresswoman or senator from Connecticut that is proposing a bill.
Connecticut.
Connecticut, yeah. We know the East Coast, the center of the universe is
Yes.
proposing a bill.
Oh my God,
The
center of the
center-
universe, freaking
Yeah.
New York and Boston.
The high class is proposing a bill.
Yes, we out here in California,
royalty.
we got no culture, as they say.
We have no culture. Right. So from this, a woman from Connecticut is proposing a bill that will give any gun owner a $2,000 tax deduction if they hand in their AR-15 or any assault rifle, AK-47, to the police.
Okay.
If they hand back their assault rifle.
Okay, just so you know, for the first thing is, I am actually technically I am registered Democrat, but there's a lot of stuff I don't fucking agree with in this party, including many of the gun laws they try to throw at us. I own even though it's an old gun, I own a Winchester rifle, and I don't like the fact that when people come with these gun laws, I've had people say, well, you don't really need a assault rifle for hunting. I'm like,
The point of the Second Amendment is not to hunt, but keep going.
it's basically for self-defense, and
Self-defense, but also, I hate to be blunt with people, but if we're talking about what was the original intention, it is to resist
any
it
oppression.
was to resist any kind of oppression and an organized armed force via the government.
By the way,
Okay, it is not. It is for self-defense.
of course,
It is for hunting too, but really the main core fundamental point of the Second Amendment was to resist the government when they got a little too comfortable with their subjects,
right. I will also
as they see us.
if you look up the Federalist Letters, we'll talk about that. But beyond that, also going back to the defense thing, this goes back to in the founding of the country, you had weeks between different cities, and you couldn't call if you're a rural guy. You can't call the police in right away. You need to be able to defend yourself
To this
against
day,
against
to this day, you can't call the police, and they're not going to be there. 10 minutes? They said on average for emergency medical emergency personnel.
in
Right.
major metropolitan areas. So it's not counting areas.
But also, here's another thing. Okay, let's say they're called to your home
It's not counting areas.
because there's a violent report called to your home. You think they're going to enter your home?
No. Hell no.
You think they're going to run in like John McClane from Die Hard
or a swamp.
into your home and start shooting people up, dual guns? I think that's what some people think. Like, I think they watch the movies and they think the police are
Or they
like Steven Seagal or Chuck Norris gear,
Or
and they're
Steve
going to
McQueen.
roundhouse kick the bad guy's head off.
I think you're gonna come in.
That's not going to happen.
Or are they gonna come in all like Hawaii 5-0 with
Right, yeah.
like bulletproof and riot shield,
And they're going to shoot their gun. They're going to go, ah.
or they're gonna do all center shots and all the guys will be down.
Yeah, right. And grenades are going off, and the bad guys die, but the cop just stands while the grenade goes off in front of them, right?
Or they flashbang them all and end up knocking them all out. It's
Anyway,
like Chuck Norris style.
the point is that, yes, the reality of self-defense is, it's obvious. You need to fend for yourself. We don't have people beaming around to immediately assist you in a, threatening situation. But also, the main point of the Second Amendment is to an armed population is a free one.
Right. I will say one.
In Nazi Germany. But the point also is, I think a lot of people in this country are a bit naive about human nature.
Right.
I know. So I've mentioned this to a lot of people, and they're like, "Well, that can only happen in Nazi Germany." I'm like, "Whoa! Look at their history. Look at their people. How are they any different?" They're like, "Oh, well, violence on that kind of level only occurs in poor countries, the Middle East, China,
Africa."
But no, it occurred in Europe in the 40s, and they were very civilized. They went to very cultured and very educated. Most of the Nazis were very educated people.
And
I just think it's just it's an ignorance to a greater human condition that the human psyche has a very evil part that can get out of hand.
Right, and here's the interesting part. If people talk about poor country, keep in mind what happened in the 1930s. 40s is basically when we came in, and you had in the 30s you had a huge economic depression, which really screwed over Germany. In fact, some people believe if you hadn't had the Great Depression, that the Reichstag, which was in power at the time, might have kept in power for a lot longer, because at the time Hitler, the reason why the Nazis rose up was because of
Poverty.
Economic
The Weimar
crisis.
Republic completely fell apart.
Right, and that's just kind of the way things are. People realize is that in bad situations,
People act irrationally.
governments are abused because we want something good.
Look at the past 10 years in this country. After 9/11, people were so emotional. What did that lead to?
Attacks against unwarranted attacks against people who looked like they were from the Middle East. There were people who were Sikh.
Well, also
or Indian.
the war in Iraq.
Yes.
It was sold to the American public in a second, and that turned out to be, sorry whatever your opinion is, but the fact is that was all a fucking lie.
Actually,
Okay.
Actually, the truth is, I saw this recently. They had soldiers asking those people who were in charge of Halliburton that they wanted them to apologize for sending us to war on false pretenses, because
Sure, well, they're not going to apologize.
because these are
They'll laugh their
average
ass to the
students.
bank.
These are average citizens. These are American patriots basically saying, "Listen, I went there on this whole I'm helping out my country, and I realized I watched my buddies die, and this is wrong."
It was over bullshit, and the governments and your elected officials often are they're not smarter than you. They're not gods. They're not outstanding citizens. A lot of
They all
susceptible to the same weaknesses, the same weird imaginations, the same mental problems you suffer with. They're susceptible to, but they have a lot of power. Okay?
They're also
They have military
extremely
at their disposal. They have legislation at their disposal. And, hey, look at yourself. Are you perfect? Do you think about nice things every day? Are you not irrational? Think about it.
We're not. Just so you know, we're not calling we're not proposing any conspiracy theories, but we do recognize that
There's some conspiracies.
aliens.
Not all of them are theories.
No, but the truth is, we're all government especially is susceptible to corruption. I mean, in fact, most politicians are susceptible to corruption,
Sure.
especially if you're working for either the banking industry, which is, or you're working
Oh,
for
huge,
military
yeah.
military contracts, because people want money.
Yeah,
Especially, and they threaten saying, if you don't do this, you're going to be costing millions of jobs.
Yeah, and back to our main point. I mean, this all comes down to the people need to look after themselves, okay? That it's a dog-eat-dog world, and Americans have to be secure with that. This isn't. Yes, we're very wealthy country, and yes, we're far better off than many nations in the world. But still, we often feel that we've put barbarism and irrational behavior in the past and evil in the past, and that all went away with nuclear bombs and wars. But no, in reality we just put a sports coat on it.
Right. I mean,
We didn't do much. We put a sports. We just made it. We just polished a turd up.
all right. What I'm going to say is, at least you know why this is happening. At least the gun control thing is because of the
Politics.
Oh, besides politics, you have the very far left, and I'm saying I'm already moderate. The far left likes to
I'm moderate too.
likes to go with the if we get rid of guns, we'll get rid of people. And you have the far right saying guns don't kill people, kill people. Well, I will say that's true to a certain point. It's people who don't know how to use.
Well, technically, the ammo kills people.
Yeah. That slug kills people.
Yeah.
Right, but the truth is what really kills people, at least in my opinion.
But cars kill people.
Yeah.
Oceans kill people. Gas kills people.
Rocks falling out of the sky kill people.
A lot of things. Cancer kills people.
Cancer kills a lot more
That's
people than
another
guns.
dumb fallacy. Is guns kill people, therefore guns should be illegal. But then at that point, everything should be illegal. Homes, cars, high schools,
Pools.
people.
Yeah.
I mean, that argument. That's the same. Right. Yeah. Exactly. The point is, that's an erroneous argument.
Right, and in closing, I personally think that if you do want to, you shouldn't be telling people to give up their weapons. If you want to make it better, and this is my opinion, and this might not be his opinion, is you need to have if someone buys a gun, you should make sure they're they know how to well trained. They know how to
use
lock
responsibility.
They know how to
purchase a very powerful device such as a firearm.
Well, some people suggest, and this is what I've heard, is even though cars are privileges and holding guns are right, you should make sure that the people who buy these guns know what they're doing. At least have
basic background checks must be universal in this country.
Yes.
I mean, you're not a felon. I just don't see. Here's my point.
And some
you're
felons
not
are
a felon.
and
You've gone through a background check. You're not a felon. You've never been committed. You're not a drug addict. You don't have a restraining order against you. I've never heard an articulated argument saying why I can't have any weapon after I've passed that. I've passed a fair
and reasonable
regulation.
Right. So, I think that's it for us tonight.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
We bitched a lot.
Yes, as we do. Remember to like and like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share the video.
Share anything. Share about how we're a bunch of dumb fucking assholes, and you want to tell us how much you know better than we do, and
that's what the comment section is for right below. Also, remember, if you find anything,
troll if you'd like to. We're open-minded.
Yeah, well, trolls always make good fighting. I don't want.
I'm a troll slayer, so beware.
TFT. Oh no, DTFT. Don't feed the troll.
Don't feed the troll.
Yeah, but if you have anything interesting you want us to talk about, leave it in the comments, or and we will take a look at it. Make sure to leave a link. So this has been it for the News Bar. I'm Major Random.
I'm Colonel Crazy. Please stay sexy.
Yes, stay sexy.